Wireless mobile charging. Before going into details, let's have a glance over one video.
Then be able to get into more details, we first need to understand the magnetic induction, which I know it sounds basic, but let's give it a brief recap. Here I have a copper wire. If I apply voltage to its ends, current will pass through the wire. This current flow will create around the wire a magnetic field. This magnetic field is not only in one zone, but is created along the entire wire and in a circular way around it, and I hope these animations will help you understand the concept. But now if I wind this copper wire into a loop, look what happens. As you can see, the magnetic fields revolving around the wire are now merging together. In this way, we would have a maximum magnetic field in the middle. And if I make even more loops, the fields are summing together more and more. So that's how, in a manner of speech, we can center the power in the middle of the coil. But this is not magnetic induction yet. That is the reverse process. So if I apply current to a loop, it will generate a magnetic field. But if I do the opposite and pass a magnetic field inside of a loop, it will induce current into the wire of that loop. So this is called Faraday's law of induction. But there is more. A static magnetic field won't induce current into the secondary loop. I connected my power supply to this copper coil, so it will create a magnetic field, since as you can see, it attracts the metal sheet. I place the secondary coil on top, but there is no voltage induced at the output of the secondary. But why? We have a magnetic field and we have a coil. Why there is no current induction? Because to induce current in the secondary, we need the magnetic flux to change. For example, if I connect and disconnect the power supply, the magnetic field will increase and then decrease. So only on these fast changes we can see a small current induction in the secondary. So we need alternating magnetic fields. So to send power from one coil to the other, we need to have this alternating voltage applied to the primary. That's what we know so far.
At the end of the presentation, we will be able to answer these questions. What is wireless charging? Where to use wireless charging? For which devices wireless charging is being used? Introduction. We know that mobile phones have become a basic part of our life. Yet, recharging of mobile phone batteries has always been a problem. Mobile phones vary in many aspects like battery and talk time, depending on the manufacturer, and thus this concept of wireless charging has evolved. In wireless charging, the current coming from the wall power outlet moves through the wire in the wireless charger, creating a magnetic field. The magnetic field creates a current in the coil inside the device. This coil is connected to the battery and the current charges the battery. The two induction coils in proximity combine to form an electrical transformer. Wireless charging has been around since the late 19th century when electricity pioneer Nikola Tesla demonstrated magnetic resonant coupling, the ability to transmit electricity through the air by creating a magnetic field between two circuits, a transmitter and a receiver. Principle of wireless mobile charging. Wireless mobile charging works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction, inducing the electromotive force into the coil due to the varying magnetic field in the other coil. Through the electromagnetic induction, we can generate the voltage in the second coil, but a smartphone gets charged at 5 volt DC. So to get the output voltage as 5 volt, we need to regulate the output. We should oscillate input at the resonating frequency. The resonating frequency is given by a formula F is equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC. Moving further, methods of wireless charging. There are three types of wireless charging: resonance charging, inductive charging, and the last one, that is radio charging. For wireless mobile charging, we use inductive charging method. We know that Wireless charging depends on the range. So there is two things possible. The range will be more or the less. So if the range is less, wireless charging can be done in two ways: inductive coupling and resonance coupling. Whereas if the range is more, then wireless charging can be done either by radio frequency or microwave. Components. There are certain components that are used in inductive wireless charging: transmitter and receiver. Transmitter. It is an electronic device used in the telecommunication to produce radio waves in order to transmit or send data. Receiver. In wireless charging, there is one small device connected to a device that requires the charging, means the every battery device that are supported to the wireless charging. Working of the wireless mobile charging. A wireless charging pad has a coil that is usually made out of copper and it is tightly wound. This is used as the medium to transfer the power out of this wireless charger. When a current is passed through the coil, it generates an alternating magnetic field. A smartphone capable of charging wirelessly has a copper coil receiver. This picks up the alternating magnetic field and induces a current which is then passed on through a power rectifier onto the battery of the smartphone to charge it. Block diagram of wireless charging system. The microwave signal is transmitted along with message signal using slotted waveguide antenna. The sensor searches for the mobile signal. In addition, it has a rectina. What is rectina? Rectina receives the transmitted power and converts the microwave power to DC power. So let's have a glance over advantages of wireless charging. The need of different types of charger by different manufacturer is totally eliminated. Lower risk of electrical shock or shorting. Convenience to carry it. Wireless energy transfer can potentially recharge the mobile phones without cords. Disadvantages of wireless mobile charging. First one is performance. Wireless charging lack efficiency when compared to our traditional charger. They even tend to make the charging process slower than one with traditional charger. The heat generated is comparatively higher and there is a scope for the power loss. It is said that wireless charging delivers 10 times less power compared to the traditional one. And due to this, it takes longer hour to get charged when compared. Second one is mobility. Though we don't need to use any cord between our phone and the charger, we still need to plug the charging station to the wall. Additionally, we need to always keep the mobile on the charging pad while it is getting charged, which makes us difficult to operate it while it is getting charged. Third one is cost. Wireless charging pads cost more than the traditional charger, which makes it disadvantageous with the low power it's delivering. Fourth one is side effects. Wireless transmission of the energy causes some drastic effects to human body because of its radiation. Since we learned about wireless charging, let's learn a bit about a related one, reverse wireless charging. This concept is very similar to wireless charging, but in this case it is a smartphone that uses its own battery power to charge another device wirelessly. The coil in the smartphone is used as a transmitter to charge smaller devices such as wireless earphone or an activity tracker. Very few smartphones support reverse wireless charging. Conclusion. A novel method of using the power of the microwave to charge the mobile phones without the use of wired charger. These methods provide great advantage to the mobile phone users to carry their phones anywhere even if the place is devoid of facility for charging. Here are some important references. Well, here is a meme. Me while thinking about wireless charging. So that's all for the presentation. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it.